Hey folks, Rex Bear here with Leak Project. Hey, I did a podcast a couple days ago where I had Jeff from the Nemesis Project on, and we debunked a few lens flare photos, and it brought a lot of controversy. I noticed there are people that took it the wrong way and thought that I was saying that every picture ever of Planet X is fake and it's lens flare, and that's definitely not what I was saying. But if you really think about it, let's go take 1,000 photographs around the world of what people think could be Planet X. The rookies and the experts. Take 1,000 pictures randomly around the globe. Wouldn't you say that 999 of those are going to be some type of anomaly, whether it be an orb from the glare of the sun and the equipment that's being used, or just some type of lens flare in all reality? Maybe it was because of the atmospheric conditions and the clouds and the atmosphere, and just everything creates sometimes these anomalies that look like planets or second suns. So I talked to Bob Evans, Robert H. Evans Jr., and we put a show together where he brought a whole bunch of images that he thinks are Planet X. Many of these images, in my opinion, can be explained. But I wanted to show you guys the latest and greatest that's out there, according to many people in the Planet X realms. I don't claim to have the answers. I'm just giving my opinions, and I'm certainly agnostic to the subject, like I've always been. With that said, I can certainly see a lot of dots that point to the possibility of Planet X. And if these ancient texts that have been translated by many people, not just Zachariah Sitchin, but Gerald Clark, Mauro Bellino, and others, that talk about this Planet X, Nibiru, that has a 3,600-year orbit, it could definitely be there. There's just a lot of misinformation out about Planet X, and I want to get to the truth, as I'm sure you do too. So these are some images that Bob brought to the table, and I thought I'd share it with you guys. So hope you enjoy the show. We've got a lot going on right now. If you go to leakproject.com, we have a members section available where if there's a specific podcast that you'd like to listen to commercial free, you'll have access to it either via direct link. You can listen to it on the website, or you can actually download it on your phone or computer for a later time. A lot of people like to listen to the shows when they do road trips and when they're at work. So if you want to listen to them commercial free and not have to worry about certain people interjecting during the conversation, you just want to stay in tune with it, plus the minor contribution that it is to get one of these things commercial free. I mean, you can get any podcast you want for $1 a piece. We're going to have an entire week of unlimited podcasts commercial free for $5, or you can have a monthly option at $10 a month. Now, I've seen other outlets that have really good shows where they'll do maybe one, sometimes 2 or 3 shows a week, and they'll charge $10 a month or more. I'm trying to put together 2 or 3 shows a day. And we have guests from around the world. And also, as a contributing member with Leak Project, if there's certain guests you want on the show or specific topics, if you send me an email, I'll do my best to get our producer to get that person on the show or someone that relates to that topic. So we're doing our best to be as user-friendly as possible here and interact with as many people as possible, because this is a group effort. Everybody that listens to the Leak Project that contributes in one way, shape, or form, whether it be information, comments, financial, a recommendation of a guest, maybe you've been a guest on the show, you're all a part of it, you guys. And whether the other side of the fence that doesn't want to evolve spiritually, mentally, physically, if it irritates them, well, that's okay. Because we're all in this together, whether we like it or not. So let's make the best of it. Let's enjoy it. Let's work on being the change you want to see. Like I always say, be the change you want to see. Have a wonderful day, you guys. We'll talk to you soon. Stay safe. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us this edition of Leak Project. I am your host, Rex Bear, and we have returning guest Robert H. Evans Jr. with us from StarshipsAroundTheSun.com. Now, Bob has an amazing following on Facebook because he has been into this Planet X/Nibiru phenomenon now for years, and he's compiled literally an Encyclopedia Britannica of images and knowledge on the subject. So today we're going to discuss his most recent pictures and images that he's been given from all over the world. These are multiple locations and different people that don't even know each other that are sending these images into Bob. So he's had a lot of issues recently with his computer getting hacked, his Skype account getting hacked, his hard drive going down. So we're very fortunate to speak with him. And he actually is talking to us from a coffee shop to get Wi-Fi right now. So talk about dedication. Bob, thanks a lot for joining us here at the Week Project. How the heck are you?
Everything's doing okay, Rex. I'm just telling everyone on Facebook I'm on your show right now. It's been a little bit interesting. The powers that be have been trying to hack my account, my laptop, 3 times in the last week and a half. I don't want to give them any niceties, but it's getting a little bit more difficult to keep going on this stuff. So I'm glad I'm on your show today.
Glad you made it. Now, this first image that we're looking at, now let me ask you this before we get into these images, because we've talked before about you having problems with your computer and getting hacked and stuff. Seems like that's been just an ongoing problem with you. Have you ever considered running Linux or getting a different type of computer besides a PC?
Well, my wife has an iPad too, but she's so afraid of my going online using it that she just does not want to lose that one. She lost her laptop years ago to heavy viruses and stuff. So I'm just going to have to keep going with what I have right now. I have my own protections. I'm not going to say what, because they're following everything I'm saying on telephone, on this Skype communication, and online.
Well, I certainly appreciate the fact that you are dedicated enough to continue to get this information out there. Even after you had a stroke, you almost broke some bones, you broke your laptop last time we spoke. Just a few days later, you're back up and rolling again. I mean, so this is definitely something that's a passion of yours, and I can appreciate that. Now, this image that we're looking at right here is one of my favorites. I mean, you've got just this incredible backdrop of the clouds. It almost looks like a painting. It's incredible. And then you've got...
Almost.
It's awesome, yeah. And then you've got the orb to the, I would say, 3 o'clock position of the sun as it's setting there. It's going down. So talk to us about this image, where you got it, and where they took it.
Well, this one I got from my friend on Facebook, Summer Thompson. This was from 5/29/2016. This was a very interesting image. You have the sun down there just about at the horizon. You got that nice orange globe right to the right of it. Now, we are not seeing 2 suns. We only have 1 sun in our solar system. The other thing next to our sun, that's one of the Nibiru's planets that we have in our skies right now. Nibiru has 13 satellites. In our skies right now, we are seeing 8 of them. NASA imaged Nibiru back in 2008, clearly showing it has 13 satellites. They put lines out to each one of them. And ever since April 10th, 2015, we now see 8 of them.
Okay. Now, so this, where was this image taken?
Summer never got back with me to tell me exactly where it was taken. That's why I put the name right there next to it.
Okay.
And the name's on the photograph right there.
I'll tell you, this is really like one of those images that you could use as a desktop or backdrop. That's a neat image. So thanks for sending that out to us, Summer. Now, this next one we're going to go to, looks like this was taken 6/9, and I don't have a name here with it. Do you know who sent you this one?
No. Some of these people, they don't want their names on it. Have never gotten back to me to put their names on it. This is clearly
looks like it says Taddy Jello. T-A-T-I-G-L-O.
Toddy Gello, yes.
I said that. I am so sorry I said that.
Yes.
Taddy Jello, I'm going to never say that again. My apologies.
This clearly shows our sun right there in the middle, and you've got 2 large objects right next to it. Right there and right there.
Huh.
Like I said, we have
do you know where this one comes from?
Of these planets in our solar system right now. I'm not quite sure. Under a lot of stress lately to keep the system going.
That's cool. No problem. Now, this one, I know Sharon sent a lot of images to you before. You've used a lot of hers.
Oh, yes.
Where is she located?
If I remember correctly, she's in Illinois. Where in Illinois, I don't know, but she's in Illinois. She says this was not our sun. Our sun was off to the left, and this was clearly one of those 8 satellites that are in our skies right now.
You know, it'd be good if Sharon could actually send us an image of the sun as well, so we could have a reference point to see how far away it was instead of just zooming in on that one anomaly. So
a lot of the people that send in the photographs, they deliberately do a crop because it's so close to the sun. They enlarge up just that one piece only, and otherwise you probably wouldn't be able to see it, or you just barely see it. So, the powers that be are just working on my account now. They've changed a lot of my passwords. I've had to go back and rechange them. Before I got online earlier with you today, my computer, the screen went black twice. So that's telling me that they're already in my computer right now.
Huh. Interesting.
This one here, this one here clearly, here's our sun right there in the center. And here's 3 of the same objects near our sun. The powers that be don't want the average general public to know about this stuff. They think you're going to be panicking and doing all kinds of weird things. Now, I have to emphasize this. I do not want anyone to panic. I want you to be prepared. Because being prepared, you'll have a better chance of survival depending upon what happens. And I have no idea what's going to happen. But all these things are being seen in our skies now, the first time in 3,000 years.
This is an interesting shot right here. It looks like there's so many chemtrails out there that it's creating these, doppelgangers essentially.
Right.
That's some gnarly
Exactly.
chemtrails.
So up here at the top left, you see it's from the certain airport, and it's facing to the west. And it was Friday 18th. Oh, sorry, Friday.
Looks like it was the 10th. Yeah.
I can't see it. It's small for me. Okay. It was June 10th, 2016.
Now this is an interesting shot right here.
Oh yes.
Who's this from?
This one's from Awaken. So that one there, it has been reversed. The image has been reversed to clearly show this big thing in the center is real. When you reverse the image, any falsehood would disappear completely, and it did not. Just like the image is right above that one image. Right there. Right above this one image you're showing,
Bob,
right there.
If I click on this image, I'm going to I was going to wait for the end to show you this image because I can tell what we're looking at here. Well, let's just do it right now. Okay, this is a spider, Bob. You can tell. You can see the legs, you can see the body. You can clearly tell that this person that thought this was a planet, this is a spider on every single one of these slides. You can see the legs.
I'm glad you noticed that. Yes.
I was going to save that until the end.
Photographs like this. But from different people. I see the legs on the left hand. That picture right there in the center on the left, right there.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and then look above it. You can see the legs above it. You go to the right. You can see that's the same spider. That there's different time shots, and they try to make it look like the
left.
Bob, they tried to make it look like the red Kachina there, and it's not. It's that one is. I can 100% tell without a shadow of a doubt that those are all spiders on the top 6 here. Now let's go to the bottom one right there. Look at that. You can see the. Let's zoom in on it. See that?
Well, the one on the left side, right in the middle, right. I see that one on the left side, right in the middle, up, right there. That one clearly shows legs on the picture. So yeah, people send me all kinds of photographs, and that one there I did not catch. I'm glad you caught it. Thank you.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Now let's go to this one though. This is a really good one too. Some people are saying that the reason we see these 3 different orbs is because of the double pane windows, but I don't know if I buy that theory.
Right. That one's from Nick Thomas. Nick Thomas he shows videos and has been showing videos of all of these things and what he thought was Nibiru itself. But this is clearly from an aircraft. Here's our sun down there at the very bottom on the horizon. You've got 3 planets, satellites, whatever you got right there in the skies. This has been caught too many times by people on board an airliner or an airplane.
Oh, hold on a second, Bob. Look at this. Not only do we see the orbs there, but check it out. You can see the reflection on the wing of each orb. 1, 2, 3, 4 reflections from 4.
Exactly.
Now, this is a good picture. I like this one.
Yeah, Nick Thomas, he goes through his photographs very carefully on his videos. A lot of people have logged on with him.
Now, this one looks like it's from a weather cam?
Yes. More than likely, it's probably from June. I can't remember her last name right now. She's been hitting all the weather cams around, and some of them have actually been turning their camera to not spot any of the stuff anymore. So you can clearly see the sun's right there above it. Then here's this big object right below the sun.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's something there. Whether it's I wouldn't be able to confirm either way if that's a planet or just a sun anomaly, but it looks pretty good. Now
Right.
this one right here is also another one that I really enjoy. I've seen this before. This came out, looks like pretty recent, the 21st of last month, 21st of June.
Right. Now, this person's over in the Middle East. I do not know where. Just taking photographs showing the two suns or two objects in the sky over. Could be Egypt, could be anywhere over there.
I'll
This
bet you
person's
somebody that lives over there, if they saw this, this tower or this city, they would be able to give us an idea. Obviously, it'd be neat to know.
Well, the news media is not covering any of this.
Okay. Well, and you can see the language. It's some Aramaic language right there. So,
Right.
huh. Yeah, I'd like to know where this is from. Look at that city. My goodness. Talk about some haze. I wonder if that's chemtrail haze or if that's just from the natural pollution out there. I wonder if they have chemtrails in that country.
Not sure.
Huh. Now, this next one, see,
Uh,
I think that this one, I'm looking at this one too. I'm just going to give you my 2 cents. I feel that this is a spider as well. I mean, look at it. You
No.
can tell the legs right there.
Right. That's not a spider. I've got too many photographs like that over Europe showing big red. I've been very careful. The photographs I've been sending you. Yes, I did make one mistake. You saw it right there, but I don't have the ability to enlarge these photographs up. But that's Wormwood, the Destroyer, or the Red Kachina. Now, Facebook is really picky about this. They don't want me to mention any religious things. I have to use the names only. So that is clearly the Wormwood from the Holy Bible. It's clearly the Destroyer from ancient Egypt history, going back well over 3,600 years ago. And the Hopi here in the United States call it the Red Kachina. Facebook, every time I mention Catholic religion or whatever, they completely just eliminate whatever I put down.
Okay. So we look at the three different ones here. And, I'm seeing a spider. But if you see the Red Kachina, man, hey, I get you. There's three different images there. People can decide for themselves.
Sure.
The reason I'm saying that, Bob, is because if you take this image and then we go back to the one that we could clearly 100% say without a shadow of a doubt, these are spiders, right? These are spiders right here. And then we go back to this one. And hey, if this is a spider, it doesn't mean wormwood isn't real or anything like that. I'm just saying if you kind of look at it, it looks like it's moving around on there. It's a close-up, and you see it looks kind of like the wings, but in reality, those are probably just the skinny legs, and because it's a time-lapsed image and it's so close, it's a little bit blurry. Because, I mean, would the Red Kachina, if you think about its orbit, right? It's got to have a specific type of orbit, I'm sure. That just seems like it would be a very strange orbit, in my opinion. Now, I'm not a professional. I'm not an astronomer.
And neither am I.
But this one's good. I like this one. This one definitely ain't a spider.
Yeah. That's by Ineo Perez. I think she's down in. Hope she doesn't get mad at me pronouncing the name incorrect. I think she's down in. It's right on the tip of my tongue. I just can't. It's down in South America. She's been taking some really good photographs. That one there, you can clearly see it's giving off gas on left and right. So that's probably solar wind, if that's what it was she caught.
Okay.
Now the photographs above by Cynthia, I have so many of those from 2015, and it's almost the same type of image showing the Red Kachina over Europe. Now that one right there, that's by June Cypers. She's been hitting all of the weather cams. So the name is right there down at the bottom there. I don't know how to pronounce that, but you can clearly see it's on the horizon, but it's being hidden partially by the haze. And we've seen this type of image too many times where the chemtrails are trying to hide it. It's just barely showing up. Now, if she had taken this image and had it enhanced, it would have really made it stand out. Now, in that same image, you can see a dark dot up around 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
That's clearly something else that was in front of it that's also being hidden by the chemtrails or by the ETs themselves. So we've seen this type of image too many times in the skies where people, they take a photograph and here's this dark dot up in the skies. And they cannot understand why it's so darkish looking compared to the rest of the blue skies. Well, something is hiding it. It's either our technology or it's the ET's technology, one or the other. You can see the red on the background. So if this picture had been enhanced, something very large would be showing even better than that dark dot, which is clearly in front of this huge red thing that's on the horizon here. They would have been very clear. Now, if you go down to the next one, I think the next one down, right there, you can clearly see the red dot right there. Although I'm quite sure, some people, they don't want to check to see whether the red dot is a lens flare. And I've seen too many of their photographs being taken apart on Facebook. And I'm quite sure you see the same thing. It could possibly be a lens flare. But I've got too many photographs of this red dot on the horizon over Europe from 2015 where it's the same thing, exactly the same.
Now,
So, yeah.
Now this one here, you were saying that you think that there's a bunch of planets or something around this, right?
Now, this person, I forgot, this weather webcam.
This is from June also, it looks like. June Cypher,
Okay.
629.
Where you've got one, okay, up at the sun, if you can put your cursor right there. You've got one, down below it, two, up above, okay, three, up above, four, down, 5, 6, then way over there, 7, 8, 9. We don't have 9, we have 8. And this is what a lot of people are starting to show. They're clearly seeing this, whether because there isn't enough chemtrails in the sky over where they live. And now that one, oh geez. This one was taken by Diana Scarber in Quebec, Canada. Quebec, Canada. And there is big red right there coming out. That was taken from a webcam. And after I first showed that, that's when I started having problems. In just the next day after that picture was shown and I put it on your Skype for you, next thing I know, I was hacked. No ifs, ands, or buts. I was hacked 3 times after that picture showed above Quebec, Canada. That's clearly Wormwood. That's clearly the Destroyer. That's clearly the Red Kachina. And that ticked off someone in the government. That's when they started hitting me left and right. The next one down is even worse. Oh, actually, the last one. Yeah, that one's good, yeah. That one is planet number 8. It's getting very clear in our skies right now. So it was either the big red one or that one. Now, I saw on YouTube that NASA was saying that they just found a planet with lots of water vapor in their skies, and it had the same look to it. Because on YouTube, it had nice and very clear, but that one image right there is clearly what people are starting to see in their skies, and that was 7, 8. After this picture and that last picture with the big red over Quebec, Canada, that's when my computer was being hacked immediately. So someone is ticked off now. They don't want this stuff being shown to anyone. And you had to send all these photographs back to me to put back in my files. And there it is, up in that left-hand corner, just up above the sun. Spot on the sun, that's another one of the planets right in front of our sun. So you got two images right here. You got the dark spot, and you got the big Jupiter-looking thing right above it. Right there about 11 o'clock or 11:30.
Right. And then this one, too, I wanted to go back to this one real quick because
Sure.
this one looks like it was inverted somehow.
It's
And,
inverted.
huh.
Some people they don't put up both pictures. They only put up one picture where they inverted it, showing this thing is real. And I have no way of telling these people to show both. I can try to say something, and if they don't respond, hey, I just have to go with what they're showing. Now the next one down, that's kind of interesting. 622, clearly showing that big red thing just underneath the sun, right there. Just about 7 o'clock. No spider legs, no nothing. That's exactly what I have over Europe. I can't pronounce any of that stuff up there above where it says Blick. It looks like it's over Germany,
Somewhere in Europe.
and you're clearly seeing big red. Yes.
Yeah, and then it looks like we've got one other one, too, that you're going to...
Now that last
Lens
one's
flare
really
down here.
interesting.
What do we got here, Bob?
Yeah, right there. Okay. All the way since 2015, when in Arizona, this one observatory, Kingman, Arizona, I think it was, the observatory was looking at the sun, and it was all videotaped, and they were showing like these sparks coming down from our sun, very clear. I still have the video somewhere. And then it was caught on film again by another person several months later. This one picture here from the West Bay webcam clearly shows sparks off our sun. Our sun is interacting with the 8 planets we have in our own solar system. And as it's interacting, it's throwing off all these sparks at the objects. And it has been very carefully caught in this one photograph. Because when you look at the sun, you don't normally see this. And our sun is heavily interacting, throwing off all this stuff towards the... See, when something comes through our solar system is on a basic... It has a voltage amperage, to put it very simply. Anything else coming through has another voltage amperage. So you got all this sparking between them and our sun. And that's being seen very clearly in this one image.
I've seen a lot of interesting stuff go on lately with the sun, and I've seen what looks like lightning come out of the sun, almost strobe effects, and I find that fascinating, whatever it is. Now, certainly, this is...
And that's exactly what you're seeing right here.
An interesting photograph, yeah. Now, I would say that it could also just be because of the camera itself, and maybe it was just a really bright day and because of the angle, but I'm just not an expert enough into either... And that's what's good about seeing video footage sometimes, when you can see the video do the sparks and do the strobe light. But this is definitely an interesting picture. And, every time we talk, Bob, you bring a bunch of interesting pictures to the table, sometimes some good video footage. I know you've got people all over the world that you're connected with on Facebook.
Yeah, that's exactly why they're hitting me now really heavily. I mean, 3 hacking attempts in less than a week and a half. And... I'm quite sure after I sign off today, the same thing will happen again. I have all these photographs safely put down now, and they can't stop me all the time. I mean, the people need to know this stuff, and I'm really glad, Rex, that you said, "Hey, I need you on the show tomorrow," and these photographs were all saved because they were sent to you. And that's what I've done to other people. I've sent the same things to other people. So if anything does happen, they have a record. But this one right here above Quebec, Canada. I don't know what the Canadians are saying, because very few of my friends are Canadian. and they're hardly not saying anything. But I know their news media is not talking about this stuff. No one's news media is talking about this stuff, because I've been checking all over the place.
Well, Bob, I'll tell you, I certainly appreciate you. No, this is great. I know that you're in a kind of a loud background area out there. You're at a coffee shop in order to give this presentation and get Wi-Fi. So certainly appreciate you coming on the show with us, Bob. And I would recommend our listeners, if you'd like to see some really cool images, Soho imagery actually, of what looks like these ginormous spacecraft flying in and around the sun, go to starshipsaroundthesun.com. Also, make sure to check out leakproject.com. You'll have access to a plethora of intel. We've got 3 or 4 podcasts updated almost daily. So sometimes we'll have 20 shows in a single week. If you become a contributing member at Leak Project, you'll have access to exclusive content. Or if you just want to go to YouTube, check us out, youtube.com/clandestine Time Lord. Have access to the latest podcasts. Absolutely free. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. I hope you have a wonderful day wherever you are. Be safe and be the change you want to see. This is Rex Bear. Talk to you soon. Hey folks, Rex Bear here with Leak Project. Hey, I did a podcast a couple days ago where I had Jeff from the Nemesis Project on, and we debunked a few lens flare photos, and it brought a lot of controversy. I noticed there are people that took it the wrong way and thought that I was saying that every picture ever of Planet X is fake and it's lens flare, and that's definitely not what I was saying. But if you really think about it, let's go take 1,000 photographs around the world of what people think could be Planet X. The rookies and the experts. Take 1,000 pictures randomly around the globe. Wouldn't you say that 999 of those are going to be some type of anomaly, whether it be an orb from the glare of the sun and the equipment that's being used, or just some type of lens flare in all reality? Maybe it was because of the atmospheric conditions and the clouds and the atmosphere, and just everything creates sometimes these anomalies that look like planets or second suns. So I talked to Bob Evans, Robert H. Evans Jr., and we put a show together where he brought a whole bunch of images that he thinks are Planet X. Many of these images, in my opinion, can be explained. But I wanted to show you guys the latest and greatest that's out there, according to many people in the Planet X realms. I don't claim to have the answers. I'm just giving my opinions, and I'm certainly agnostic to the subject, like I've always been. With that said, I can certainly see a lot of dots that point to the possibility of Planet X. And if these ancient texts that have been translated by many people, not just Zachariah Sitchin, but Gerald Clark, Mauro Bellino, and others, that talk about this Planet X, Nibiru, that has a 3,600-year orbit, it could definitely be there. There's just a lot of misinformation out about Planet X, and I want to get to the truth, as I'm sure you do too. So these are some images that Bob brought to the table, and I thought I'd share it with you guys. So hope you enjoy the show. We've got a lot going on right now. If you go to leakproject.com, we have a members section available where if there's a specific podcast that you'd like to listen to commercial free, you'll have access to it either via direct link. You can listen to it on the website, or you can actually download it on your phone or computer for a later time. A lot of people like to listen to the shows when they do road trips and when they're at work. So if you want to listen to them commercial free and not have to worry about certain people interjecting during the conversation, you just want to stay in tune with it, plus the minor contribution that it is to get one of these things commercial free. I mean, you can get any podcast you want for $1 a piece. We're going to have an entire week of unlimited podcasts commercial free for $5, or you can have a monthly option at $10 a month. Now, I've seen other outlets that have really good shows where they'll do maybe 1, sometimes 2 or 3 shows a week, and they'll charge $10 a month or more. I'm trying to put together 2 or 3 shows a day. And we have guests from around the world. And also, as a contributing member with Leak Project, if there's certain guests you want on the show or specific topics, if you send me an email, I'll do my best to get our producer to get that person on the show or someone that relates to that topic. So we're doing our best to be as user-friendly as possible here and interact with as many people as possible, because this is a group effort. Everybody that listens to the Leak Project that contributes in one way, shape, or form, whether it be information, comments, financial, a recommendation of a guest, maybe you've been a guest on the show, you're all a part of it, you guys. And whether the other side of the fence that doesn't want to evolve spiritually, mentally, physically, if it irritates them, well, that's okay. Because we're all in this together, whether we like it or not. So let's make the best of it. Let's enjoy it. Let's work on being the change you want to see. Like I always say, be the change you want to see. Have a wonderful day, you guys. We'll talk to you soon. Stay safe. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us this edition of Leap Project. I'm your host, Rex Bear, and we have returning guest Robert H. Evans Jr. with us from StarshipsAroundTheSun.com. Now, Bob has an amazing following on Facebook because he has been into this Planet X/Nibiru phenomenon now for years, and he's compiled literally an Encyclopedia Britannica of images and knowledge on the subject.